I want to quickly talk about Christian marriage and the unrealistic expectations of most Christians when it comes to a partnership. People think that a lot of people think that the Bible. We everybody knows that God is Almighty. He's the all-knowing and is the invincible. Is the unlimitable. Is the El Shaddai. He can do all things. But a lot of people think that just because they have involved God in their marriage, then it's going to be smooth sailing all the way. They're not going to have any problem. Um, Everything is awesome. Oftentimes, when couples have problem in marriage, some counselors will say, this is your marriage. Did you involve God in it? Did you seek the face of God? Maybe they have a child that is troublesome, that has a particular sickness, and whatever the situation may be, okay, there are people who think that just because God was involved from the very beginning, because God had spoken to them, because they had sought the face of God, and they were sure that God led them to that person, there's not going to be any problem. Now, the involvement of God in your relationship is not a guarantee that you're not going to have a problem or problems. You're going to really have problems are going to come anyway, regardless. The reason why I'm saying this is because of an argument supposedly I had with a very good friend of mine recently when she was talking about emphasizing the need to make God the foundation of one's marriage. Of course, meaning therefore that from the onset, whoever you're going to say yes to, or whoever you're going to tell, I want to marry you, you must make sure that God is leading you. I have my personal beliefs. I do not think, that's me, I do not think that at creation, God particularly had anyone in mind for anybody. I do not think so. I'm not saying I'm right, but I do not think so. However, one thing I'm sure of is, even if God leads you to an individual, it does not mean that you're going to have a happy marriage. Happiness in marriage is not a function of divine guidance at the very beginning. I mean, the choice of partners. No. Happiness in marriage is a function of hard work. You just got to work it out. Every marriage, every relationship need working out. If you go on your knee and say, God, heal my prayer, and you speak in tongues, if that prayer does not energize you and direct you toward the direction of working out issues and situations in your marriage, nothing is going to change. Now, don't get me wrong. Prayers are awesome and they are very productive, but they do not replace human initiatives. They do not replace character, endurance, perseverance, patience, honesty, frankness, being frank. They do not. So the fact that God spoke to you, if it does, it can lead you into a relationship, but it's not going to be a guarantee that the relationship is going to be perfect. I mean, the truth is there's no perfect relationship anyway. But it's no guarantee that there are not going to be storms in that relationship. There will be a lot of storms. A relationship with anybody would have its own problems. And these problems don't necessarily have to be sinful. Now, I was telling the lady, and I said, I told her, I said, look, for instance, if you live with your husband, the issues that will put a pressure on that marriage may not necessarily be sins. Okay, I took you to a store, and you said, give me 5 minutes, let me quickly pick my toothpaste. And I sat there in the car. Meanwhile, I was hungry. I needed to get home on time. And maybe when I'm hungry, sometimes I have headache. So I'm waiting for my wife to come from the store, after 5 minutes. And when she gets there, she suddenly remembers she needs one more thing, and one more thing, and one more thing. And just when she was about to step out of the store, she ran into an old friend she had not seen in a very long time. And why she honestly and sincerely wanted to get away from that friend after exchanging pleasantries, because she knew the husband was there, the friend kept holding her back, kept holding her back. So at the end of the day, 45 minutes, I was hungry. I needed to get home. So when she got inside the car, she said, oh, honey, I said, please, this is not the first time, this is not the second time. Just don't honey me. I'm hungry. I need to go home. And I've told you, don't do this to me. You keep doing this to me. Then you said, why are you so angry now? None of this is sin. Relationships need working out. The most profound thing that I said to that woman was that most times when believers trust God for introduction of partners, say, man, this can be a good guy. Go for him or go for her. It doesn't mean, like I said, that you're not going to have problems. Because even God himself has not been able to have perfect relationship with human beings. If he is unable to have perfect relationship with human beings, how are you now so sure that just because he introduced a man to you or a woman to you, that you're going to have a perfect relationship with that man? Even him couldn't have it. Well, I'm taking the liberty to say what I'm saying. I don't. Some people will say, that's blasphemous. It's not blasphemous. It's a fact. It's a fact. When he saw Paul, he said, yeah, man, I've seen somebody who will lead my people. All right. So to Judah, taller than anybody in Israel. He was the king. Then after some time, he said, do you see Saul? He has departed from me. I have also rejected him. The relationship didn't last. God was so proud of Job, so much that he spoke to the devil about the integrity of Job. But do you also realize that when the Lord opened the door for the devil to torment him, Job said certain things that God was embarrassed with? You understand what I'm saying? You could go on and on. God loved Moses. Moses is my favorite hero of faith. He was awesome. He understood who he was and what his calling was. And he did not hesitate in walking in line with his calling. And by so doing, he left all the riches and all the honor of being a king's son in Egypt, I beg your pardon. God walked with him. He walked with God. But at some point, God did not allow him to see the promised land because he erred. So if God himself could find it very difficult to have an enduring relationship or partnership with man, how can you now say, since God has recommended this man to me or this woman to me, no problem. We won't have any problem. Let me just enjoy and sleep. No, you have to work that relationship out. I gave you an example. And there are many examples too, many other examples too. Your wife cannot sleep without the light on. You cannot sleep with the light on. Eh? Your wife doesn't like the room temperature to be below certain, degree or something, and you don't like it to be too cold. Your wife will always take the bed cover, bed sheet. I mean, is that what they call it? Yeah, you know. Before you know, you're already naked because she's taking everything outside. Like, madam, what's wrong with you now? All of these are nonsense. There are good people involved in that relationship, but you need to sit back and work it out. The Bible says, "Work ye out your salvation with fear and trembling." It is up to us to avoid certain pitfalls, to understand individuals' weaknesses, and not just go to sleep just because God gave you a good man or God gave you a good woman. The situations are dynamics. So also must our solutions. So, congratulations for those who believe, those of you who believe that God give people husbands and give people wives. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he doesn't lead you to people who you can work with and live with and have happiness with. But happiness, true happiness in that relationship is a function of your actions yourself and your ability to adapt to situations and to use your iroro, according to this Nigerian comedian, Akman and Uduma. So Isoko, say use your iroro, use your head. Every relationship needs you using your head. God bless you. Thank you.